A reporter asked me once if I believed in miracles. And I said, I believe that every single day is a miracle. I believe the solar system is a miracle. I believe what keeps this planet spinning and gravity and breath and oxygen, I believe it's all a miracle. I find too much design to believe it's all just an explosive accident. The design of DNA itself makes me think, oh, there's a genius somewhere. Put all this together. I believe everything's a miracle. And the older I get, I believe every morning is a miracle. Just getting up and getting out of bed, that's a miracle to some extent. And he pursued, do you believe that God performs miracles because we ask him, just like one person? Why does one person get a miracle and another doesn't? I don't know. The answer is, well, I do believe God performs miracles. The other answer is, I don't know that he does it just because we ask him. I don't know. I've prayed a lot of prayers for God to do things that he did not do. And I prayed some prayers that he did the opposite. And one example is I prayed earnestly when I was drafted in the Army not to go to Vietnam. I sincerely did not want to go to Vietnam. My church was praying, don't let that boy go to Vietnam. My parents and family was praying, don't let that boy go to Vietnam. They were reassuring me, we're just so many people praying. We just don't think you're going to go to Vietnam. Not only did I go to Vietnam, I learned later that out of my entire company in training in Indianapolis, there were only 3 of us that got sent to Vietnam. Everyone else got sent to Europe, Alaska, Guam, the Philippines. 3 of us went to Vietnam. The other 2 volunteered. That's not a made-up story. That is actually what happened in my company. I am the only boy in my company that went to Vietnam that did not volunteer to go. And you think I didn't have a powwow with God when I found that out? I believed a mistake had been made and literally believed when I got off the airplane for a temporary break in Alaska en route to Vietnam. I really believed somebody would meet me on the tarmac and say, oh, hey, we made a mistake in your orders, and reverse me. And when we had to land briefly in Guam, I thought somebody will be there to say they messed up my orders and I will be sent back to the States, and no one was there. And when I got to Vietnam, I genuinely believed that someone would meet me at the airport in Vietnam and say, we made a mistake. And when somebody came walking up to me, I was like, oh, here they come. And instead it was somebody saying, are you Carpenter? Yep. I got a Huey waiting for you. A what? A Huey waiting for you. Larry knows Hueys. It might have been Larry flying that one. I don't know. But did you fly out of Long Bend? Okay, I'll blame some other pilot then. That was in Long Bend. And they said, we got a Huey waiting. And I said, a what? A Huey. A helicopter. For what, to take you to Cu Chi, Vietnam. Oh, and that was it. And on the way, the pilot hollered back and said, you'll know when we're getting close. Just look for the red haze. Anybody know what the red haze is? Besides Larry. Larry doesn't count. Well, that's the daily bathroom cleansing. It's all done by diesel gas and fire and a few other things. I spent 13 months in Vietnam under protest because God messed up my orders. I will tell you today that Vietnam was a miracle in my life. I changed my theology. I changed my character. I changed in Vietnam, and I changed for the better. But I would never have considered that an answered prayer. It's a miracle, but it's one God had to perform against my praying and against my faith. And so I told the reporter who was questioning, I said, to me, I've lived a long, long time, and to me, the greatest miracle in our Christian faith is the ability to accept whatever God gives me. And so I accept. I pray for everything. I ask God for perfect things. I ask God for perfect healing, and then I accept whatever God gives. And to me, that you can just accept what God gives and not lose your faith, that's a pretty good miracle in itself. But that is the gift of faith, not of yourselves, but of God.